Shalom, all praises to Yahweh,
Hashem,
Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to you sincere brethren, Brother Paya Allah.
Rakayakam.
And we're going to go into basically some details of a law being passed, or plans for the building of a UK Guantanamo Bay for non-violent and violent so-called Islamist extremists. So I'm just going to go straight into this article. I don't know if you want to say anything, bro.
No, go on,
Okay, this is, the title reads, the UK malls opening own Gitmo for Islamist extremists. Okay, this is dated February 14th. The UK government is reportedly considering putting all Islamist terror convicts in a single secure unit, which could become a British version of Alcatraz or Guantanamo Bay. Now, the first thing I want to point out is it said that, look, a single secure unit, which could become a British version of Alcatraz. That just spells concentration camp inadvertently. Like, that's, if they're gonna have one place set up for terrorists like Guantanamo Bay or Alcatraz, focusing on Gitmo mainly, what were they doing to them there? They were torturing them. They were it was basically everything that goes on at a concentration camp is what they were doing to the so-called terrorists at Guantanamo Bay. Okay, you jump in anytime you want, bro.
Yeah, I can get a precept. Isaiah 29 and 21 says that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. Yeah, go on after.
Alright, if you got anything to say.
Oh, yeah, basically the reason I brought that precept out is because pretty much like the brother was saying, over here in the UK, over the last, I think like last year, since like last year, what they've pretty much done is they've changed the rhetoric from radical Islam to just using the words extremist or radical.
Yeah.
And pretty much now that's being extended from being just Islam to basically anything which is against the state or the state's belief. They had some programs on the BBC. I tried to find a link, but it will take me ages to go back and find the links from last year. But basically they had a series of programs about extremism, and only one of the actual episodes had an Islamist on there. The rest of them had guys that are like nationalists, guys that were homophobic, and they kept pushing that, look, if you're homophobic, if you speak against homosexuals, that's an extremist view. Do you know what I'm saying? Basically, but based upon what teaching out of the Bible, which is the destruction of this man's society and the death to the wicked, that all homosexuals are going to be put to death by the Lord, that's an extremist view. So these laws that they're bringing out really are for us, man, mainly, and other people who got, you know, certain views which the state don't like, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, and I just wanted to piggyback on that. Basically, well, not even piggyback, but you know, come with sign from the back, because man, there was no pig. But basically, the thing I was gonna say is, now when you deal with the past extremists that they've had as of recent, the past 2, 3, 4 years, many of them, when you check out the little news they put out on the side, they'll say, like them 2 Nigerian boys that did the whole thing with the drum and Rigby, they said that a woman said, I can't remember her name, but they said an 18-year-old woman from North Woolwich, yeah, she said, oh, they were at the state, remember the bus station we went to see the Ebos in Woolwich, yeah. Said they were there preaching about the Bible, that's what they said, but they were Muslim. Yeah. That's what she said. Yeah, and there's a lot of rhetoric like that where they talk about Islamists or extremists, where they're talking about preaching from the Bible. So that's further proof, you know, these things are getting lined up for us. And we see it when we're out of the camp. Every time the police go by, man, You have many a time the police will come up to us, armed police, general police, plastic cops, which are known as community, community support officers. They'll come up and they'll be asking the same question: why are you here? What are you preaching about? And when are you going? And it's just they're building up intel about us, have different complaints, different forms of information. But I'll read on. A review by Justice Secretary Michael Gove, due to be published in March, is examining how convicted Islamist terrorists behave in prison. The report is believed to find a single unit prison for extremists would make radicalization less of an issue, the Telegraph reports. Current system of dispersing Islamists and the most dangerous prisoners across 6.
You see, and the most dangerous. They said it right there, because what they're gonna do is they want to, when they're bringing in these things, they're using Islamists as like the excuse.
Yeah.
But it's not really for Islamists. It's for anyone that they decide is an extremist, because he just said it's mentioning other people now.
Yeah.
You know.
And if you plot what you said, it said dispersing Islamists and the most dangerous prisoners.
Yeah.
So you would assume that those outside of the Islamists are more dangerous than the Islamists. Okay. Across 6 maximum security prisons would be replaced by a single facility to house all those jailed for extremism. David Cameron spoke on prison reform Monday and hinted at the reforms. We have around 1,000 prisoners who have been identified as extremists, or there's no Islam in that, or vulnerable to extremism. And that's even, they're saying there's people that could be influenced to be extreme as well. And, well, let me not even go into that. But there is people that know of the truth in prison as well, in the UK. And they might be fighting certain other men in the prisons, as I've heard from other brothers, in the name of the Lord. You know what I mean? So that's stirring up tension. Then we're looking at, okay, he knows about the real thing, as opposed to these Islamists. So that's another way they'll go about it as well. And we know through intimidation, violence and grooming, some of these individuals are preying on the weak, forced conversions to Islam and spreading their warped view of the world.
Yeah, which that applies to us.
Yeah.
That whole thing about having a warped view of the world applies to us. Like they, I believe David Cameron in one speech he mentioned conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
A conspiracy theorist is an extremist because they have a warped view of the world. Like basically, we're against the state, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're enemies of the state. Because we don't like the madness that the so-called white man be doing. You know, if you believe 9/11 was an inside job, to them that's a warped mind view. You know, or you believe that the American and the British intelligence set up ISIS, that's a warped mind view. You know what I'm saying? You know, which all those things we bring out. You know.
Go on. We will not stand by and watch people being radicalized like this while they are in the care of the state. I want to be clear. I am prepared to consider major changes from the imams we allow to preach in prison to changing the locations and methods for dealing with prisoners convicted of terrorism offences, if that is what is required. So there again, they put the curtain over, they set Islam over here, then they set terrorism over there. So, and what we're doing, we're terror to, because it tells you that in Job that Esau is going to be brought to the king of terrorists. So if our king's the king of terrorists, and we're servants underneath him, we're terrorists then, according to Esau.
Yeah, they you had these guys basically with the EU, because all this stuff that they're bringing out in the UK now, it's all based upon EU law that they already have. The EU Terrorism Act, which in that pretty much details all about non-violent extremism and all that stuff is already jam-packed into that. They're just bringing it over to the UK and making it look like they've made it up, but it's because basically all the EU member states, they signed, what was it, the Treaty of Lisbon, the Lisbon Treaty. So basically what that means is any law that is passed in Brussels for the EU, any EU law, within 4 or 5 years, or you could Google it, within a certain amount of time, the laws in the member state countries have to be ratified to reflect that. So that's what you'll find is the things that we're bringing out here. You go France, they're doing the same thing. You go Germany, they're doing the same thing, because they're all going off the same blueprint. And it's the same thing in America with the NDAA and the Patriot Act. They've got the NDAA and the Patriot Act over here, but they just give it a different name. Instead of the Patriot Act over here is in the UK, it's called the Terrorism Act. You got the 2004. You got the Civil Contingencies Act, which that talks about rounding up people and bringing in martial law. You know what I'm saying? So all the same things that are in America that they've got planned, all them legislations, they've got them here in the UK too. It's not no different. It just put a different name on it, man. You know.
However, keeping all Islamists together in one jail would isolate the prisoners and make reform or rehabilitation more difficult. It also brings a risk of an extremist cell operating inside the prison system. Experts have warned of the dangers of such system, with Professor Roger Griffin warning it could actually create a command center and a relay station for IS operations in Britain, which really wouldn't happen because they're not thinking only about if they mingled all them different forms of terrorism, it's just going to be an uproar between the masses. And then on top of that, anyway, they ain't really going to have no strength to fight against each other after being tortured by Esau, being waterboarded, being done.
Well, already killed.
Killed, yeah.
Because
that's
what they're not mentioning.
Yeah.
What they're not mentioning is like
the guillotines,
the summary executions.
Yeah.
This is just them throwing it out there.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They throw things out there, make it seem reasonable, make it seem soft. Or we're gonna have our own Gitmo, where we're gonna put all the extremists. And oh, don't worry, it's only for the ISIS guys.
Go on.
That's basically what they're doing. But
yeah.
Hey, if I can get this one scripture here, this is Revelations 12 and 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. So that's talking about us, the men that's out there on the street doing this work. We're targets, man, and we're the most extremist of all extremism. Like, you gotta understand that what we're doing is 100%. These guys, the British government and the elites of Britain and the elites of these different countries, they're the anti-Yahweh Shai. Their vibration is 100% anti-Messiah. We coming in the spirit of Yahweh Shai. So we're actually 100% the opposite force to them. You understand? You have to look at it like that. Everything they're promoting and pushing, we're against. This is like, no matter what it is, you name it, abortion, homosexuality, women's rights, children's rights, we ain't with that. You know what I'm saying? Human rights, we ain't with that either. We ain't with none of that. You understand what I'm saying? We ain't with their banking system, we ain't about nothing that they're about. We ain't with their new world order. And they know that, hey, brothers that have the testimony, they really gonna have to kill us, man. That's why they got something called a red list. Certain people they might try and rehabilitate, certain cheerleaders, but men that are out there with the fervent in the spirit, they really gonna lock man up, torture man for information, and then probably try to kill you, man.
Well, you said rehabilitation. I've got to reread this. However, keeping all Islamists together in one jail would isolate the prisoners and make reform or rehabilitation more difficult.
Because certain people, like, you got the red list, you got the yellow list, you got the blue list. The yellow list are guys that know of the truth, but they're not leaders. Yeah. So they're not on the red alert to be killed. They might just try and reform that guy or rehabilitate that guy around to the way of the state. But you see, we're reading all this, man. This is ultimately, they already have all this already. They already have it all up, man. They've already got what's not. It came out years ago that the British were doing renditions already. They do renditions, man, and they have black sites. So all this is just getting people used to the fact that they're gonna lock up extremists. Simple.
Right.
It's for public consumption, man. They already know what they're about. There you go.
Professor Peter Newman, author of a study examining terrorist prisoners in 15 countries, said with large numbers of lone operators who may not be particularly ideological and who have failed to join the command and control structures of groups like IS, the risk of them connecting the ideological and operational leaders while in prison is real. In other words, and that's talking about
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All this stuff is just bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man, they're in prison, and what are they gonna do from prison? Come
Nothing,
on, man.
man.
They're gonna do
Especially
nothing.
if they're gonna set up a one prison to lock down all the most dangerous men.
What are they gonna do? Send a pigeon?
That's what I'm thinking.
They're gonna send a pigeon or something with a letter. How the fuck? If they're in a maximum security prison, like, say like, oh, yo,
clapping the pigeon, yeah. It ain't gonna do
it's
shit.
just some
man.
bullshit. It's all bullshit to justify the fact that they wanna lock people up and kill them.
And make them sound like the most dangerous men men on earth. They want to make them sound crazy dangerous.
Yeah,
like,
you can't even put them in a prison. Like,
man. They might fucking start operating some big terrorist unit from inside the UK. So you know what we need to? We need to kill them. You know, guillotines will be administered and all that other stuff. Okay. Lucky I lost my place. Okay, yeah. Prisoners in 15 countries said with large numbers of lone operators who may not be particularly ideological and who have failed to join the command and control structures of groups like IS, the risk of them connecting with ideological and operational leaders while in prison is real. In other words, a policy of concentration may inadvertently help to create the kind of it's lucky I can't pronounce it. I know how to say it, but I
Which
can't
one?
pronounce it.
Hierarchical.
Yeah.
Let's go here. Yeah,
hierarchical organization that the terrorists found it impossible to create outside.
That's just all bullshit, man. That is just all bullshit.
Yeah.
This is what they do. They throw things out there, then they muddy it up. Listen, they already know what they want to do. Hey, shalom, bro.
Shalom.
They already know what the deal is. They know what they want to do. They're just, the main thing is to get the public used to the term extremist. And like I said, last year the BBC ran a whole series about extremists and extremist views, and only one of them was a fucking Muslim. The rest of them were like nationalists or whatever the case may be, guys that just don't like homos.
Oh yeah, I see that, the trailer. Yeah, I
Yeah,
see the advert for it, yeah.
You know, and all the dudes say you don't like homosexuals, and I say, you know, that's an extremist view now. You know, it's crazy, but this thing is real, man. That's the main reason we're bringing this out, is that you see them pushing that out in public consumption and feeding that into the minds of the people, getting them used to the fact that, you know, you got extremists. Extremists need to be locked up, even if they're non-violent. Even if they're non-violent, they need to be locked up. Because who's that really aiming at? That's aiming at us. Because we're the real non-violent dudes that are coming up against them in the spirit. We're coming up against them. The scripture says the weapons of our warfare are not. Let me get that, man.
Might have been casting down the stronghold.
Them Muslims are carnal as hell.
And they're losing on that front as well. They ain't winning. Palestine's a key example. With ISIS out in strong force in the Middle East, in Syria, all they need to do is carry themselves down to Israel and get it popping down there. But that shows you that they're paid off, and that shows you they ain't really a threat.
Yep. So and they know that. So then what's the mechanism truly set up for? Think about that. If they know they control the Islamist extremists, then why are they building up this framework of terrorism laws? If in America they know that they set up Al Qaeda, then why do they need the NDAA? Why do they need? Because the actual engine, the mechanism, they have someone they want to aim it at. They're just not telling you who yet.
Yeah.
They're gonna start well, they have been kind of right wing groups and guys, conspiracy theorists, but slowly it's gonna be like, them Hebrews.
Yeah, that's why they had Beyonce come out and do her little thing.
Yep.
Even with the Black Panthers.
Oh, them niggas in Chirac, them gangs. Them gangs are gonna be extremist groups.
Yeah, gone.
They don't be surprised they start bringing back that fuck the police, that Ice-T.
Oh yeah. And NWA.
Was it Ice-T?
Yeah, it was Ice-T that did.
Fuck the police and all that.
Yeah. But even just to say this, like you said, the gangbangers, them guys have got rocket launchers. They got all forms of artillery as well. It ain't hard for them to turn around and say, well, they ain't gangs no more. Yeah. And white people, you Edomites over in America, you would jump at the chance if they turn around and say, these gangs are not gangs no more. They're turning into militias and small manned armies.
Oh, the Bundy. The whole thing with the Bundy farm.
Yeah.
The Bundys.
That's it. Don't take too much, man. Fear-mongering.
2 Corinthians 10 and 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing like the state that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahushua. Hey, because they know that they ain't gonna get us on, oh, we got some bombs. You know what I mean? We got some bombs, or man's out there shooting, or they wish they could do that, but they can't. They can't get us on that.
Yeah.
So how they gonna get us? Oh well, they're teaching extremist ideology.
Yeah.
And they'll probably put a video up, man, saying the white man's the devil. You know what I'm saying? And, they're extreme. They want to. We gonna eat crackers. You gonna get your head chopped off and all that stuff, man. And then they go, oh, these guys are extremists, man.
Through body language, not necessarily actually doing nothing.
You know. Them guys believe in the second coming.
Yeah. So you got anything else?
No, go on.
Yeah. The Justice Ministry has denied the speculation. No plans for a single prison for terrorist prisoners are under discussion or form part of any review. Okay. So he's saying he denied the speculation, but why are they putting the information out there?
They're putting it out there so that people could get used to it.
And they've already been, over here in the UK, they said there's 700 terrorists currently active in the United Kingdom. They said 350 of them are prepared to go out and do something. They said this was last year, these statistics. They said there's already been 7 terrorist attack attempts, but all of them have been foiled, if my mind serves me correctly. And they said they're working very hard to stop anything happening. So they've already pushed out the vibration of terrorism. These things are being discussed. The point that they're being discussed, and remember it said at the beginning of the article, it said, it's good. The person who's in charge of this is going to address this in March to David Cameron. So all it takes is him to sit down there and say, look, these stats are crazy. Or just anything little for you. Really, you don't need anything to happen. You just can just say, look, we're going to do this. That's it. Yeah. They're letting you know already. This, like, in my mind, it's done. Like, they've said it, it's happening. They're letting you know. You know how the elites operate. They got to let you know. Once you know, that's it, man.
Yeah, it's
that's Micah 2 and 1.
Yeah, Micah.
Yeah. That's it. So
I mean, to be honest, they already got everything they need. They're just waiting to pull the plug and start rounding people up. You know, these people are ready. The right crisis, and we at that time, man, where they're gonna really get it popping.
Yeah.
Seriously, like Micah 2 and 1, it says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand." And that's what they've done. They've set up this martial law troops. They've already done the drills. They've got right now in Europe, because of those terrorist attacks, which they got the NATO troops out. Salakia, you're right on that, Ark. They got the NATO troops out and about in the ends. But also, if you remember back to what happened at the what's the one with the Eiffel Tower in Paris? They had the thing in Paris,
Charlie
right?
Hebdo. Or
and they had the one in Belgium. If you notice, they said now they've put out their plainclothes military men all across the Europe to protect special sites. They never stopped that. Yeah. So they've brought in that atmosphere and got everything ready. That's why the scripture tell you in Ezekiel 21:9, man, that the sword is being sharpened, man, to make a sore slaughter, man. It ain't for when.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're already done prepared to lock down these cities, man. Do you know what I'm saying? They've done the trials, like all those biological weapons and all the tests they've done with the swine flu. Those are all tests for the real thing. And there's going to come a time when, like, shit's going to change. There's going to come a time when something's going to happen. There's going to be an event. And everything they've been preparing for is going to, the hammer's just going to drop like that. Everything's going to change. There's this mundanity that man are dealing with right now. Man's are playing games, scoffing on the comment boards. You got guys that want to be all proud, talking shit. Listen, there's going to come a time when we ain't going to be sitting there making a video. You might be on the run. Real talk. Forget about going work. You know, brothers be sitting there, I got to work tomorrow and all this shit. Man, there won't be no work.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a whole different Walking Dead.
25. That's what
a whole different dynamic is going to come down just like that. Yeah. And they're not going to be sitting up there debating about whether or not they need to execute people. They're just going to say, this is what we're going to do because of this crisis. And most people are going to accept it because they've already been coercing their minds down that direction anyway. And with the crisis, they're going to panic. Oh, okay, yeah, them extremists, yeah. You know, it was them, you know. Oh, these guys calling themselves Hebrews. We got to arrest them too. No one ain't going to stand up and go, why? They're just going to, okay.
Yeah. Get
them guys. Them guys are a problem. They're the reason why my bank account's empty. Take them off the street. Yeah. Get them out of here. You know? They're the reason bombs are going off. That's how they going to do it, man.
France has started to separate Islamists from the general prison population since the Charlie Hebdo attacks last January. Cameron said the UK government will introduce a program. So now this is a key point right here. Cameron said the UK government will introduce a program to counter non-violent extremism.
That's already happened. See, the bit where we were talking about the prison, that's them throwing that out there. But this non-violent extremism thing, Theresa May, they've already written that up. That's actually happening. They already have a program. They said they're coming down on non-violent extremism. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the reality, man. So when you see brothers going out there and doing this thing, we know what time it is, man.
Cool.
At any moment, they can sting us with that. Oh, you guys are non-violent extremists.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Put the video footage on there. They see you talking about America being destroyed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Is it you promoting America being destroyed?
Right. Yeah.
You promoting, you damn right we promote that. Now, the Bible says that's what's going to happen, man. Yeah. And that's when we going to have to be, look, man, that's what's in the scriptures, man. And that's what's going to happen. And do as you will.
Yeah.
Do as you please. That's not going to stop the judgment. But go on, bro. That's deep. He said he's doing it.
Cameron said the UK government will introduce a program to counter... Sorry, I'm just going to say this. Because the whole thing, he was talking about the prison's violence. He was trying to insinuate the violence, the terrorism of these Islamists and these other guys. But then at the end of it, what's being done? This is the last paragraph. This is basically the conclusion of the matter. Cameron said the UK government will introduce a program to counter non-violent extremism. That's us, man. I don't know if you've got something to say, bro.
No, go on.
Focusing on those at risk and a mandatory de-radicalization program. So that's a concentration camp right there.
Yeah.
They're looking to round up these, like you said, the red list. They got the list.
Yep.
They're going to take them in and say, right, you over there, go guillotine. We're going to put you on a MK Ultra some shit or, you know, whatever form of madness they got prepared. And then other guys admitted the chip, whatever, they got it planned out. This to me speaks volumes, this last paragraph.
Yep.
Focusing
Because how can you be coming up against a guy that's non-violent, man?
That's it.
You know? But like I said, you got brothers that understand, man, that when we're bringing out this truth is like kryptonite to this man's society, man.
Go on.
This truth is a pain.
Man.
It cuts this man. The spirit. We're coming up. We're shaking this kingdom, man, with this word.
Yeah.
And the more men that believe and become and start teaching, and it just gets worse, man. And the system is gonna fight back. Esau's back is against the wall, and there's gonna come a point when this word is gonna be too much, and he gonna have to do something about it, because what we're doing is actually straight up 100% cutting through all their bullshit.
Yeah.
We're not even dealing with white people. We're saying they're Edomites, man.
Yeah.
You gotta look at it like that. We've just cut through all kind of bullshit. Look, man, this man are Edomites.
And then they'll see a brother like the posh who got in the camp. They'll look at him and think, well, okay, why is he here? Yeah. Like, that's how we're cutting through
through all that bullshit, man.
Because they won't understand. It's just beyond them.
You know, we're cutting through all that feminism. Brothers are doing videos, and this is the truth, and the truth is cutting them, man. We're cutting through all their bullshit, beginning with the apostles and the elders. We're bringing out so much information and cutting them up with the truth. What can they say? How we're proving that they're the devil. You got certain Israelite groups like want to say Esau is not the white man. First of all, they ain't got no. They can't back that up. We can back it up when we say it, man. And that alone is cutting the hell out of them, man. We're coming with a whole new dynamic to this world that they thought they left behind them. Yeah. They thought that was done away with.
Yeah. Way back, thousands of years ago.
Israelites.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as an Israelite, Edomite, but then we're bringing out the books, bringing out information, bringing out the prophecies, and it's hurting them, man.
Because they thought they hit this finish line, man.
They thought they were, but hey.
Yeah. Got free.
See, Esau, the scripture says, the devil shall come down on you with great wrath, knowing that you have but a short time. Because this truth is having an effect on his kingdom. It's having an effect on his witchcraft. You know? Them demons, you know?
Unease, man. Discomforted.
Yeah, they're discomforted in their own kingdom, man. They got now Oxford Street, they got now New York, they got here guys cursing them out, saying they're going into slavery, man. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Shit.
And not to, not for nothing, obviously the apostles are the highest ranking in Israel, but we're here over in the back garden. So the moment the Lord raised up the brother Omar, and then really when he came down to London, that's when it really started getting hot for them. Because that's right in their back. This is one of their sacred grounds. It tells you in William Blake, the poem, that they want to set up Jerusalem's green pastures in this country. Jerusalem's known as the center of the world. Where's the center of the world in this kingdom? England. You got the GMT. I forgot how to break it.
Greenwich Mean
Time. And you got Greenwich. Greenwich is a royal borough as well. A royal borough. They ain't nowhere near the that's opposite here.
Yeah, that's a nice end too.
It's a nice end.
South,
but you know that's on the other side of the Thames of here.
Yeah,
we're in the ghetto right now. We're in Chav Central. We're in the ghetto, the poor ends. You go across the River Thames, that's the Royal Borough of Greenwich. So we're talking about, because that place has the Greenwich Mean Time Zone line, and the whole building and the scopes and everything. That's why they've made it a royal borough. They're trying to set up Jerusalem here. We're disturbing that spirit.
Yeah, London's demonic, man.
It's demonic, man.
London is demonic. It's one of them city-states too, and it's demonic as hell, man. It's like all them buildings they got, and there's a lot of witchcraft that goes on in London, man, and across the UK, man.
Yep.
That's why great judgment is gonna come down, man.
Go on.
But hey, all you brothers, the point is that don't think that that's in America. You might hear man's teaching. We focusing on America, like because America, some shit's about to go down. Yeah, hey, but some shit's gonna go down right here in the UK. Shit's gonna go down in France. Shit's gonna go down in Germany. It don't matter where you are. This whole martial law and all that, it's gonna go down wherever you are, man. It's gonna go down. So hey, you gotta prepare yourself, man. Just because you ain't in America, you know what I'm saying, don't mean that you ain't gonna experience the time of Jacob's trouble. Because that time, believe you me, London is gonna be a bloodbath when this shit goes down, man. You know, there's a lot of lambs out here, unarmed, ready to get slaughtered. They're gonna come in on these jakes, man, here in London, man.
Children of men, man, that's what's gonna happen now.
Yeah, I was gonna say we gotta put a clip, because even after the last riots they had here in London, which them London riots ended up being in Manchester, ended up being in Birmingham,
nationwide.
And David Cameron, never forget it. David Cameron said, oh, there's sections of our society which are sick.
Oh yes, yes.
You know, like a cancer.
Yeah.
And it's like, basically he was letting you know. And what did they call together? When that thing happened, they called together the Cobra team, which is the civil contingency. That whole, basically is their version of FEMA. The continuity of government thing which they're gonna bring when they do the thing in America. What they gonna do? They're gonna suspend the Constitution based upon the continuity of government. They're gonna institute all them FEMA executive orders and the NDA and all of that, and then that's how they're gonna go in there and just fuck up people and take their food and all that. But over here they got the same fucking thing. They got the Civil Contingencies Act, Terrorism Act, all that shit. They got this new thing now, and then they got this it's called let me actually get it up. I'll read what it is, man. And when they had them riots in London, they called that together. Cobra. Yeah, it's called the Cabinet Office Briefing Room. Okay, and it's called Cobra, often referred to as Cobra. This is the devil,
Snake, man. You gotta think, hey,
what does a cobra do, man? Yeah.
The old serpent.
The dragon.
Yeah.
It says, are the locations for a type of crisis response committee set up to coordinate the actions of bodies within the government of the United Kingdom in response to
draconic law and sorry, it's a guy carry on, bro.
Well, you're saying it's draconian,
yeah.
Yeah, martial law.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, draconian. Yeah, it's a cobra. Yeah, con. Yeah, that's a good point. Which they know that. That's why they set up like that, man. It says the government of the United Kingdom in response to instances of national or regional crisis or during events abroad with major implications for Britain, and that leads you into NLE09, which that if you look up, which is hard to get information on that, but I remember when it came out. I think Alex Jones has an article on NLE09, but you can't go to the actual website no more. It's called National Level Exercise 09, and what it was basically, it was coordinated between Canada, United States, Britain, France, and it was a drill. And basically they said, look, if there's an event, if the event is large enough, Britain would treat the event as if it happened in America and vice versa. So let's say there's a major, when I say major, I mean major terrorist attack somewhere in the world, they can actually treat it as if it happened in the UK. So like the brother said, they said there's guys that's actively in this extremist thing. Yeah. Let's say a pocket nuke went off in the, I don't know, anywhere. They can actually treat it as if that pocket nuke went off here and then put into motion, we got to make steps to quell this.
And
you know?
And that's why they've done these little things in France. France consistently.
Yep.
Have been having terrorist threats. Why is that? To build up to that one major event where when it gets done and this comes into effect, it just comes off so naturally.
Yep. Hey, because even when that thing happened, I was listening to a lot of the news guys, and they were saying, oh, we need to have the same laws that America has. Yeah. And then other people were like, we're standing with France. They were basically treating what happened in France as if it happened in England, man. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck, man? It ain't got nothing to do with, you know?
And then everyone's praying for France on Instagram, Facebook, everything. Yeah, man. France weren't praying for you, but that was because it was engineered. Yep. Remember, you had what's his name, the owner of Facebook. He had signed, I forgot what he done. He had certain initiatives for France, so they were actually pushed. It was engineered. They engineered it through way of social media to give it all the grandstanding it needed. So when the next event comes, they're gonna remember that, oh, pray for France. Yep. They're gonna remember all those emotions, and then it's gonna be easy for them to pull it off.
And it's gonna be massive. What's gonna go down?
Yeah.
And it could be this year. Like I said, everything's lining up.
Yeah.
Beautifully. The economy is lining up to go down. They're bringing in the the yuan into the SDR in September, which that signs and seals the one world currency right there. You know what I'm saying? Everything is coming together beautifully, man. The only thing is for the elect to be sealed, and then the elites, they're gonna pull the plug
on the internet.
On everything, man.
Yeah.
On the internet, on everything, man.
Yeah,
it's gonna be just crazy, man. Bank bail-ins, they already set up the bail-ins to take people's bank accounts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like they've got everything sorted out, man. To where, you know, if the Lord ain't with you, man, you're gonna get caught up in this shit, man. Real bad.
God.
You know what I'm saying? And London and the different cities in the UK, like they've got troops ready to roll up in there, man, and lock that shit down on a real level. You know what I'm saying? On a real level. So
I got a scripture.
Yeah, come on.
I've been holding for a minute. Hebrews 4:12. For the word of Yahweh Shem Shai is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So this word is a swift cut, man. Going back onto the point we were saying earlier, dealing with the elites. This really is, especially you Rothschilds, Rockefellers, the elites. They're pissed. They're fuming. They are fuming. They're bitterly angry because this is cutting them. They've been enjoying it, living it up, been pushing forward slowly but surely, advancing a new world order. Everything was going great until 1970 come around. Well, not even really 90s. Really 1970, but and greater works that came up after continuously to where we're at today, and where they can see, look, they're really. That's why it says in Isaiah 47 and 10 onwards about stand now with your prognosticators, whether they can deliver, deliver you from the coming judgment, man.
Yeah, I got a quick precept for you, cause these devils. Oh man, Psalms 127. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. So you guys trying to build up this new world order and build up your kingdom, but you didn't build it in the name of the Lord. You labored in vain. That's straight out of the scriptures, man. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh, but in vain. So, hey man, all these cities are going to be destroyed, man. Alright? Plain and simple, and that's in the scripture. You know? But we don't want to go on too long. We just wanted to bring that out just to show that a bit of a UK perspective, man. Like I said, it all goes back to the EU because basically there is no UK anymore. You know, that's why they've weakened the UK military to force the UK to be a part of NATO. Because the UK could have really been an independent country by itself, but they weakened the UK military so that now the UK, say like if France was to come against the UK would need allies. So that's what the elites have orchestrated everything beautifully for this NATO thing and the American thing. That's why they all got to stick together. France, UK, all them guys, they've already fucked with Russia. Okay, they all got to stay together because divided, they can't come up on their own. None of them are strong enough to come up against Russia, or China. You know what I'm saying? The UK, they already signed away their sovereignty with the Treaty of the Lisbon. Now they're saying they want to have some kind of referendum, some kind of vote to see whether they want to be in Europe anymore.
Yeah, the breed tricks. Brexit.
Listen, that's bullshit.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Before that happens, they'll rather do a fucking major terrorist attack and then bring them all together. Because that's what happened when the France thing happened. Oh, we got to stick together. We got to come together because Europe is under attack. You know what I'm saying? Before that happens, because that's all part of their plan. When they signed the Treaty of Lisbon, basically we now live in the United States of Europe. Just like you got the United States of America. All them different states are really countries, but they all co-signed in with the Washington D.C. But it's the same thing with Brussels. Brussels is the Washington D.C. of Europe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it is. Any law they pass in Brussels, they have to ratify that law in the member countries. Now they got an EU army. So they've basically expanded NATO, because not all EU nations were part of NATO. Ireland, I believe Switzerland wasn't part of it.
Yeah.
And some other motherfuckers, man. I can't remember all of them. Now they've signed up to have an EU army. Now they've just expanded NATO, made it bigger. So it's all getting lined up. So, hey, Europe is gonna be like totally fucked up.
Yeah, they're pushing for that 1984 George Orwell Eurasia.
Yep.
They're gearing it up, man.
You watch that movie Babylon AD, and they show you that they had concentration camps, drones on borders, taking people out. All that's gonna happen. All this migrant crisis shit, they're building it up and building it up.
Yeah.
They're gonna lock them borders down, man.
Yeah.
Eventually they're gonna lock them borders down. They're gonna have drones, and the motherfucker try to cross them borders, they're gonna get blown away. And they show you that in Babylon AD.
I didn't get to read the article today, but I'm gonna have to Google it. But in the Metro London paper, they had an article that said about you can get drone homes now. Can't remember the title, but it was showing how they had underwater